Hi Capricorn, welcome to July 2021 Astrological Forecast. The month starts off with the sun in your opposite sign of Cancer, and where you have Cancer in your chart is your 7th house. It's directly across from your first house, where you have Pluto transiting in your sign. So Mars was just in Cancer, so I mentioned, last month or whatever, before the month before, that you would have to deal with someone that was probably a little bit aggressive towards you, a partner, a close friend, somebody like that. Somebody in your life possibly just pushing your buttons. Well, now the sun is here. Okay, so the sun is in Cancer up until like the 20th. And Mercury moves into Cancer on the 11th, and there's a new moon in Cancer on the 9th. So this is your 7th house where you have the sign of Cancer. Just a few days, like the 1st through the 10th or whatever, Mercury is still in Gemini in your 6th house, and then it does move into Cancer in the 7th house. So it could be possibly maybe something that was going on at work, as far as having Mercury in your 6th house of Gemini and the 6th house of the workplace and co-workers and your work schedule and the kind of work that you do, or your house of health and your house of service, so if it wasn't work related, whatever. But there's some things finishing up there, let's say, if it is the workplace, okay, possibly with your schedule, like trying to changing your schedule or something, or maybe even scheduling, let's say, like a vacation or time off or something or other. But anyways, having the sun in your 7th house of close relationships means that they're in, like, come into focus right now in your life. They're where your focal point is. Okay, so maybe something is going on there. When Mars was here, maybe whomever business partner or a romantic partner or a friend started acting up a little bit, maybe even just trying to get attention from you, but they were being a bit bossy within the relationship. They were trying to you anyway, appears that they were trying to take over the whole relationship, or I don't know, try to get you to do things their way. In fact, everything their way. So that's past now, and now you're like settled in or whatever, and you both got to say your piece, and got that all cleared away. So around this new moon, it seems like there's a new beginning going on within the relationship. It could be a totally new relationship coming in, but it doesn't have to be. It could be like a current one, or even a long established one. So if it is a business relationship, there's going to be new ways that you'll be handling things in the future. Same thing with a romantic relationship. This is the house of marriage even, okay? So if you are already married, things are going to be a little bit different there. And if this is like a close friend, there's still some things that you really share with this person that they're almost like family, more or less, okay? So the sun actually moves into Leo on the 22nd, and Mercury moves into Leo on the 27th. Venus and Mars are like already here, okay? So where you have Leo in your chart is your 8th house of shared resources and property. It's also the house of other people's resources and money, okay? So having Mars here since last month and whatever means you were a little bit aggressive in going after possibly money that's due you, that's owed to you, or property that someone has that's yours. This is the house of jointly held property though too, so maybe that's something that's up for discussion right now. This is the house of debt, shared debt and shared resources also. So maybe that's where this conversation with one of these partners in your life is coming from. Maybe you want to do something or other with maybe money that you both share, like in an account, a bank account, or credit cards that you share with someone else, or just some kind of shared debt, even if it's a, let's say like a roommate and you share rent, you know, and utilities or something or other. But that's all up for like a change or review. Let's put it that way, it's a review. So that's what's actually going on here right now, as far as partnerships go. But with that out of the way, again, this is the house of other people's resources and money coming to you through means other than earning it. So having Venus in your 8th house does attract these very things to you. If you needed to borrow money or borrow anything, sometimes I say like equipment for lack of a better term, you know, as an example. But if you needed to borrow something like that, this would be the time to do that very thing, okay? If you needed to borrow money from a bank, though, even, they'd be more willing to work with you now having Venus here than at any other time. The 8th house is financial institutions. Even the IRS falls in this area, okay? So if you did even owe taxes, let's say, to the IRS here in America, this would be the time to discuss that with them, because they're willing to work with you. Any kind of taxes, actually. But this is the house of legacies and inheritances and legal settlement payouts, insurance payouts, refunds, credit of any kind. There is, okay, I have to mention, first of all, there's a full moon in Aquarius on the 23rd. Yeah, where you have Aquarius in your chart is your 2nd house of earned income, how you earn your money, and things that you own that are valuable, your values, also personal values. But this is, it's a money house. Both the 2nd and 8th they're directly across from each other, and they are money houses. So around that full moon of the 23rd, you may really finally get, after maybe having to complain an awful lot about it, or, you know, ruffle some feathers, whatever, you know, you may get your money that more than likely is yours anyways. It's due you. It was supposed to come to you but didn't. And if it's not money, it's some other kind of resource, or it's some other kind of, let's say like an object even, maybe a luxury item. Could be jewelry, could be coins, investments of some kind like stock, anything. But maybe this is something you were trying to get back, something that was yours all along, or that was supposed to go to you but never made it to you. Okay, here's the thing too with Jupiter is now moving finally, okay, back into Aquarius on the 28th. So before that though, you had Saturn. Saturn is in Aquarius also. So it was transiting here all by itself without having Jupiter here. About the past 2 months, Jupiter graded back into, actually forward into Pisces. Okay, now it's retrograde and it's falling back into Aquarius, where it will move in direct motion till the end of the year, and then at the end of December, it'll move fully into Pisces. So all you'll have is Saturn in your 2nd house. But since Saturn entered your 2nd house in Aquarius, it had Jupiter along with it that whole time, and Jupiter acted as like a buffer to Saturn. You weren't getting the full effect of having Saturn in your 2nd house. Jupiter brings in more opportunities for money to come to you, another means of income in some way or other. It governs expansion and an opportunity and good fortune. And Saturn is the exact opposite. It's restrictive and plays by the book, no shortcuts. Makes you take little baby steps, you know, to achieve something. It's a slow-moving whatever. And having Saturn in your 2nd house, though, does sometimes mean that your source of income has dried up. Okay, it's a time when people are laid off, or their work is it's not there anymore. Okay, their normal source of income, or it's cut in some way or other. It's less than what it was. Okay, so you may have had to deal with something like that like the past 2 months. Okay, but now that Jupiter's moving back here, it will again create, opportunity for you up until December. And then at the end of December, it's going to move again. So just keep that in mind. It's going to move into Pisces, into your third house. So you're still going to have Saturn in your second house. So if that's the case, if you were laid off, you've got from now until December to find some other job or source of income or something or other, because when Jupiter leaves here, you're just going to be dealing with Saturn in your second house, and it is going to dry up your income. Okay. Let's see here. On the 21st, Venus moves into Virgo, and Mars also moves into Virgo on the 29th. And where you have Virgo in your chart is your 9th house. Virgo is a fellow Earth sign. Creates a very nice trine to your planets in Capricorn. The 9th house is the house of foreign travel, foreign people from other countries, or they're foreign to you because their background is completely different than yours. They don't necessarily have to be from another country. It's a different culture. It's media, publishing, higher learning, legal matters. But it's a big travel and communication house, but it's long distance travel and long distance communications. So you may get, excuse me, having Mars here does, get you very enthusiastic about whatever house it's transiting. Excuse me. So 9th house could have you pursuing something, let's say like a media project or something or other. It could be newspaper, magazine, or just regular like internet website. But all of these things, I would have to say, are more than likely online anyway. You could have written something that you want published, or you could just do just publish it yourself. I forget what it's called. Oh, whatever. Anyways, just having Mars and Venus here together, still traveling together, okay, does kind of make it like you could possibly have like an interest in someone who does either come from another country or lives far away from you. And it could be somebody possibly from your past, maybe that you even grew up with, but they've moved away, but you're back in touch with them again. Whatever, but you would like to get together with them or see them. Maybe you haven't seen them in a long time, but it doesn't look like you're going to be traveling. It just looks like you would like to travel right now, possibly. But wherever it is that you would want to travel to, it's long distance, okay? Maybe you'll do it at another time. But it could, it is kind of like a little bit the long distance romance. So if there isn't any romance in there, there could just be a friend that you've made that is from a completely different background than yours, making them foreign to you. But it could actually be somebody that is a foreigner that lives in another country, and you are having a really nice you have a really nice friendship with this person, and maybe it's getting really like, I want to say stronger. It's not that it's romance, but it's just that you're getting a lot closer to someone who possibly maybe you don't know all that well, but they are in touch with you, let's say like through social media or something like that. And this, it could be also, though, the desire for you to learn something. Okay, when I was talking about this, your second house of income and everything, you may be taking on some kind of either self-taught, you're teaching yourself this skill, you're either taking an online class, or you're like in some kind of apprenticeship or something or other, or you are brushing up on something that you used to do a long time ago that was kind of like a hobby, but and it's something you really, really liked, that you are updating it more or less. It's a skill that maybe you only have, you know, not too many people have, but you're brushing up on it right now because that is going to be your new source of income. Okay? The best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Capricorn on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Cancer, and those dates are the 8th, 9th, and 10th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, any kind of speculation or gambling, and anything to do with children is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 30th, and 31st. The best time for money is the 11th, 12th, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And the best time for your career is the 15th, 16th, and 17th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 13th, 14th, 15th, 26th, and 27th. So I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for July. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.